Let's get rid of that. And just let me know when you need to.
Sure. Afternoon everybody, Seb Oddi from the Occupier business at CBRE. So today's challenge we're posing to those who wish to take it on is coming from our occupier view, but it has to incorporate the landlord consideration. And I recently came back from the CRE Tech event in Copenhagen, the first of its kind. There was a lot of talk there about the landlord solution, or the problems and solutions that go with it. But there still, to me, seems to be a disconnect as to what the occupiers are looking for. And at COP26 last year, there was an increasing amount of conversation in the occupier space, but still it feels like unless you're on the front foot and not being a laggard, you can continue to do so. Legislation is going to be changing that in the next 24 months, which is going to mean occupiers, a lot of whom we work with who are talking about things, aren't really doing anything. So what we're trying to work to is a solution from both sides of the fence, but thinking it through an occupier lens. Specifically though, due to RICS findings in the last few months, there was previous perception that operational carbon was a higher percentage of carbon over the life cycle of an office building. That seems to be changing from evidence that's coming out, and the view is that embodied carbon is about 60% of the life cycle of an office building. As I said, COP26 was a watershed moment for lots of people, but there's more information available seemingly on the operational side and less so on the embodied amount, and the sharing of that information is where this challenge wants to focus on. So we're very well aware there is an inconsistency of information out there. There's lots of different metrics, there's lots of publicly available or paid for services to calculate these figures, but there doesn't seem to be an area that is bringing the information all together to create a, let's say, a frictionless or less friction-filled relationship between the landlord and the tenant. Now, historically, landlord and tenant relationships based off UK real estate law have been a point of friction, and that needs to change for there to be, in our view, for there to be information sharing and energy saving through the process. So our challenge is to focus on that arena, which is very broad. So the couple of takeaways I would give you as focal points would be, first of all, data management and the interpretation and use of that data. To add to that point, there are lots of building management softwares out there that seem to fall in the hands of building managers, but the actual interpretation and the use of that is where we see a lot of the downfall and where those products aren't really fulfilling USP. Then the relationship piece, it's about the sharing of information. How is that shared on either side of the fence, and the challenges around that are to do with security and operational energy consumption, but it's all going to flow into reporting at a financial level in the next year or so. And then lastly, the ultimate aim of it is how those relationships and data management lead to saving energy over the life cycle of embodied carbon in a building. So a bit shorter than bridges, but those are, it's a very big topic, but those are the three sort of takeaways that we'd like people to focus on in what is a challenging arena, but I think from some of the things I learned more recently at the COP event, in Copenhagen, is that reporting through TCFD and other avenues is going to force occupiers into that position sooner rather than later. And it would be nice to think that there isn't needing to be a stick to get them into that position, and there are some people on the front foot, but a combination of legislation and hopefully solutions that come from what we're talking about will dangle some carrot rather than be a 100% stick. Thanks everybody.